Choice, Blissful, IK, Princeville, CC, and Poco. What do these words have in common? Oh, that's very simple, my dear Watson. We would be your hosts for the next few episodes. So, saints of the internet, grab your coffee, grab your bread. Welcome to Holy Chaos, because this, my people, is Brunch and Belief. Let's go! Woo!
I think I should start like this. We are all aware that the person who leads us as a country, right, takes effect on all of us. That's if your leader is...
Okay, I thought you were going to say something.
If your leader is...
We would have ended this video immediately.
No.
Carry on.
If your leader is bad,
okay,
right, he affects all of us.
Okay.
So now, where do we stand as believers and quote and unquote to pastors who, not just actively involve themselves in politics, but then push members and say, God is telling me that Christine Atiolua is the next governor, Minister of Health, is the next Minister of, Atiolua is the next Minister of Health. I mean, is the next Minister of the FCT.
Thank you very much.
Right? That is so in a vision. That God showed them in a separate trance. That is the next minister.
Minister of Health, yes.
How do we now? I don't know. Let's talk about that, because I personally...
Let's unpack that.
Yes, let's unpack that. Thank you.
I feel like every now and again new phrases come up in our generation, and the current phrase is unpack.
It sounds complex.
Okay, so your question is...
So it's more like let's talk about it.
Okay.
Should these people...
from a believer's standpoint?
From a believer's... Yes, we are all believers.
You know what I just realized now? The producer did not put sugar on set.
Oh wow.
Producer says it's good for your body. That's interesting.
That question.
Here's your tea.
So
okay.
Just pretend you don't like sugar.
Is it okay for pastors to sort of
be giving revelation?
Or
you can say
endorsing. Thank you. Endorsing political activity.
No, what is your question? Endorsing political activity or giving prophecy?
It's more of a conversion that covers everything. Should they be endorsing and say, members of this my church?
I think that here's my especially because I'm your pastor.
Members of this my church follow this person is not an endorsement.
It is kind of an endorsement.
It is an endorsement.
It's technically an endorsement.
I mean, every endorsement is to your influence. It's to the people you have influence
Enjoy
over.
it.
That's
but it's not a full-fledged, go and vote for this person. Like, this is who I support doesn't mean it's not the same thing.
No, but he did say members of my church follow this person.
Oh, you did?
And then you repeated it.
I did?
Yes.
You did.
Yes, you did.
Just now. Play back.
Members of this my church follow this person is not an endorsement. Okay, if that's the case, then okay.
So I think that when it comes to the pastor telling everybody this is where my convictions lie, I think this is a good man to vote and I think you should vote him. So basically giving people his endorsement. I think that there's nothing primarily wrong with that. However, I think that as a pastor, you ought to be careful to endorse politicians, because politicians are still, at the end of the day, politicians. No, I didn't say liars. God.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, they are politicians. Politicians are still, at the end of the day, politicians, and they have to politic. They have to play the game of vested interests. Do you understand? Give everybody what they want, and sometimes that makes them lie in some situations. It makes them promise. I didn't say they were liars. It makes them promise something that they know fully well they can't do. Do you understand? Sometimes, and so it makes us now. It behoves on the pastor to now be careful when he's saying, I endorse this person. There's also the place of track record. As a pastor, you want to try as much as possible to not endorse somebody who has a track record of evil and wickedness, and because again it questions your morals as one who is a pastor. But there is no problem with endorsements. In fact, when you have to choose the lesser of two evils, because sometimes we are stuck in a scenario where I have to choose between the lesser of two evils. Pastor Bruce is running for presidency, Dr. Sisi is running for presidency. This one has stolen money, she too, she has stolen money, and I have to choose between the both of them. As a pastor, I can still tell my people that these are my reasons for choosing Dr. Sisi, for instance. Even though I do not fully endorse all of her actions, I still think she is the best person to be president for the nation. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I think that's where I stand on pastors endorsing politicians for positions. I think that we can tell people what we believe. For instance, I believe that in the last election, Peter Obi was the obvious choice for presidency. I believe that we missed an opportunity, and I'm unequivocal. I'm very, very loud about that. I believe that we missed an opportunity when we didn't elect him president. Do you understand? Or when he didn't turn up president.
To the Francis.
Allegedly. But at the same time, it will now be an abuse of office for me to now stand up and start shouting, Peter Obi is God's choice for the country. Even though that's what I believe, I must realize that speaking in the name of God is a heavy thing. Do you understand? It's a heavy thing. And so coming out to say that these are the visions I've had. Visions can many times be manipulated by a lot of things. Dreams can be, okay, by show of hands, if you've ever slept hungry and dreamt of food, raise your hand.
It's
Do you get? So dreams and visions can many times be manipulated by our waking desires. And so if I have thought too long about Peter Obi winning the presidency, I might go to sleep and see him win the presidency. And as a pastor, because I realize that my words carry even more weight than just every other, member of the local assembly, I must be very careful to not come out and say, this is what the Lord has told me, unless I put it through many checks and balances to make sure that what I'm saying is actually the Lord that is telling me. Furthermore, I feel like every pastor who comes out to say this person will win the election and the person does not win the election should in the same way come out and apologize to the church for misleading the body of Christ. I genuinely believe that. I think that we should hold ourselves accountable as pastors. The office that we occupy is high, and we ought to hold ourselves accountable as pastors enough. And if that system of accountability was in place, less people will come out and be giving prophecies. Because when people know that I might have to go back on my words and eat my words if it turns out that I am wrong, when people know that, people will be less prone to just carelessly say, mark my words, by the next election I'm seeing so person in office. Do you understand? And if that person comes, do you know what it means if you say, if I be a man of God, this person will win the election? If they don't win, by your own admission, you are not a man of God. Do you understand? And if for some reason you got carried away and you said so, it behoves on you as a pastor to come out before everybody and say, my dear people of God, in getting carried away, I said this, I was wrong, I am sorry. Even if you don't apologize to the entire body of Christ, at least apologize to your church. You have a responsibility to them. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on the matter. I think that pastors need to be more accountable for the words of prophecies that they speak. QED. You want to say something?
Yeah, more like a question on this. So, in terms of the pastor holding a very high position, is that not also now? It does not necessarily mean, like, if I come out and endorse a person, it does not necessarily mean I'm saying that God is picking this person. But due to the influence that pastors have over most people, is it not better to just hold that opinion to yourself and just teach, and rather just teach criteria to choose a good person?
I don't think so. I think that election is one of the times that pastors should wield their influence.
Okay. Because the reason I'm asking is, some people would take your endorsement of that person as God said this person is a righteous.
No, you can clearly say, I'm not saying God said, this is my opinion. And anybody that takes your opinion as God said is not on you, especially when you have spelled it out. I'm not saying God said this is the next president, but I think personally that this is who we should vote. I think that periods of election are times when pastors should wield their influence responsibly. Of course, we're not going to try to incite violence or start a riot or say our way or no way. But you have the voice of people, you have the ears of people rather, and you can serve direction to say, this is what we need as a country. Do you understand what I'm saying? And help people see the direction they ought to go in. So yeah.
Uncle, so where do we now stand on, allegedly, I'm not calling him, but allegedly, on ministers, on pastors?
Allegedly
Legally, my lawyer.
So you don't have to say allegedly if you're not pointing fingers at anybody directly.
But still allegedly. My lawyer will watch this allegedly. So where do we stand on pastors who have spoken up against people in seats and have indirectly and somewhat directly influenced an uprising against that person because of a member who is an opponent to that leader?
So
This now.
I think that so this is what I believe in conversations like this. Except the person clearly tells you these are my intentions. Don't be quick to assume people's intentions. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If, for instance, I pastor a big church,
Amen.
let's call my church the Redemption Christian Church, and I pastor a big church, and I have a member of my church who is a pastor in my church who is running for vice presidency or maybe presidency, right? And I'm speaking against the person who is currently in power. The fact that I'm speaking against the person who is currently in power does not, like, you can't assume that it is because I have a member of my church who is running for vice presidency, except I say that. And even though it is because I have a member who is running for vice presidency, is there something to be said against the person who is currently in power? What I'm saying, am I just hunting, like, am I hate hunting, or am I actually spitting facts? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Am I actually saying what is true? Because honestly, if I genuinely believe that my member and the person who is running, his running mates, are the best choice for the country, I have every prerogative to say, vote these people.
Time out. Before you go on, did you know that 20% of viewers on this channel are not currently subscribed? You guys just come here, watch the content, and leave. This means that you would most likely not see our upcoming content after this one. Can you imagine missing all of this heavenly goodness? So like, share, and subscribe to this channel right now, guys. Right now, it's not that difficult. Just press the subscribe button so that we can reach our goal of 10K subs this year and keep bringing you awesome Christian content. Yeah, boy. Let's get right back to the video.
Because I know them and I think that they're the best choice for the country. Look at their policies, look at their promises. This is their track record. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So don't just assume intent, one. And two, even if that was the intention, I think that what matters is what he is saying Is it true? So, to speak plainly, that GO, for instance, had Yemi Osinbajo, who was a pastor in his church, running for vice presidency, and he did speak up against the president at the time, which was Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, which now in retrospect was a better president than the president.
Allegedly, please. My honorable judge.
Allegedly. However, right, and importantly, at the time Bishop Oyedepo or Daddy Gio was saying these people are not, this man in power is not doing a good job, the question you need to ask is, by the metrics of the time, was the person doing a good job?
No.
You see, it becomes unscrupulous if the person in power was doing a good job, but then the clergyman was saying he's not doing a good job just so that he can install his own person. But if he's saying he's not doing a good job and he's actually not doing a good job, and he's saying install my person instead, he will do a better job. Do you understand? That's not a problem. It becomes a problem when the person he now installs does not do a good job. Then the same people that he came to say install my person, he now has to come out and tell them, my people, oh, I thought he would do a good job. Do you understand? I am sorry I'm sorry that my opinion led us here. Do you get it? Because in the end, he's still a man above all else, with his own opinions, political opinions, and he has the influence to help shape the political climate in the nation. But there's another thing that we also need to consider, and it is that uneasy is the head that wears the crown. And so even when political conversations are concerned, we must realize that it's very easy for you to do backseat driving. The president should do this, he should do that. They put you there. Can you do it? So I think these are all the things that we need to put into factor and into consideration for that.
Just one more question in line with this. What would you say about politicians during campaign season being allowed to come to churches and stand on the pulpit and give like a little speech?
If the pastor believes in what the man stands for,
regardless of his religion, yes or no?
Mm-hmm. That becomes dicey. Personally, I am a little bit conservative on this matter. Do you understand? But if you have, for instance, if I have a good Muslim who respects the political rules, one of the political rules being that if you're a Muslim, let there be diversity in your cabinet that represents the climate, the geopolitical and socio-ethnic or ethno-religious climate of your nation. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? So if I'm a country of Christians and Muslims, even though I'm a Muslim, I should try as much as possible to run with a Christian to represent the Christians in the nation as well. So even if it's a Muslim, do you understand? As long as I align myself with what his values, his political values for the nation, there's nothing wrong.
But at the beginning of campaign, we might not be able to tell that because some people might decide not to announce their running mate until very late.
So this is the thing, yeah. You can tell a person's values from their track record.
Even if maybe the person's spouse would probably say, oh, my spouse is also a pastor or something.
So I think all of these are inconsequential to the conversation.
Because if you say, oh, well, this person's spouse is
again, inconsequential. What are your values? Forget your spouse. Forget your. We've seen one of the reasons why, for instance, personally, I would endorse Peter Obi. I used to tell my wife that when Peter Obi enters inside the office, things will first get worse before they get better. And in those years, months or years when it's worse, people will say, I thought he was the Messiah. So I never expected Peter Obi to be a Messiah figure. But one of the reasons why there was an endorsement for him from my end was not because his wife was a pastor. I don't even know what his wife looks like, to be honest. Or his running mate was a Christian or a Muslim. All of those things didn't matter to me. One thing mattered to me. What are your values? And I can tell your values from observing your track record. When you were governor, how did you act? Do you understand? When you held political portfolio, what did you do? These are the things that will help us know what you are most likely to do if you are given this opportunity. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
this is why, for instance, I did not endorse someone like Banky W, who, by the way, was a Christian. He was running for you know what, leave Banky, he was running for an office in Lagos, not presidency. Give me someone more Halu.
Oh, Durotoye.
Durotoye also ran. I love Fela Durotoye as a person, but I didn't endorse him for presidency. Why? He's a Christian. He speaks good in leadership, but I don't have track record, so I can't possibly know what your values are necessarily, because the track record is really missing. I used to tell my wife during the election that people like Moralo and Fela Durotoye should not run independent of each other. They should come together and form a party. Do you understand? Then maybe if they do so, or align themselves with people who, someone like Peter Obi, who has a track record and still stands for the same things they stand for, if they can come together, then we can have, they can be more convincing as per their value system. But if what we are talking about is, oh, they don't announce they're running mate early, etc., 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 the truth of the matter is that politics will politic. And whether you like it or not, the church is one of the biggest consolidations of influence in the country. And anybody who is doing anything abandoning the church is doing a very daring thing. You see what I mean? And so, if you, as a pastor, have a large congregation, and a politician wants to come and speak to your congregation to campaign, do you understand? And you what you teach as a pastor, what you believe as a pastor, aligns with this person, and you know that my congregation might be the difference between him winning the vote and not. There's nothing wrong with him coming out, you telling your church, I want to give this man of God or this young man 2 minutes, 3 minutes to address you, tell you what he wants to do, and this is the man I believe in, and these are the reasons I believe in him. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then you give him the audience. There's nothing wrong with that.
I want to get a little clarity, sorry. When we talk about track record, what I'm hearing, or maybe that's not what you're trying to say, is that for us to agree on track record, we need to see the person in maybe a political office before now.
Yes.
So someone cannot be a good leader in their office, a good someone who already runs an organization
and run for president
and run for,
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Why?
Because running the country is far more complex than running an organization. Far more complex. You see, far more complex. There are so many parties that you need to consider, so many voices you need to listen to, so many things you need to take into consideration. See, this is not a perfect representation, but if you have time, there's a series I recommend. It's on Netflix. It's called Designated Survivor. Watch it. Then you will understand what politics really means. There's another friend of mine, Senator Alex Adekunle. He's a member of the House of Reps, I think. But great guy. He has written a book on politics. Please read the book. You will realize that there's more to politics than leadership quotes and being a good leader. Being a good leader is a very important part of politics, but there's more to politics than that. And so I do not believe that just because you run a Fortune 500 company, look at what Elon Musk is doing in the United States. Just wake up one day and say something. You are influential, for goodness sake. You say something, stocks crash, the market is upside down, then you come out the next day and tweet, I'm sorry, I went too far. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is the point I'm trying to make. That first of all, have political track record. Start from, if you can't start, maybe you're advanced enough to start from maybe the Senate level or local government chairman level, but start somewhere. Let's know you. Let's see your hand. Let people say, when he was our representative, this is what he did. When he was the governor of my state, this is what he did. And I believe that a lot of believers need to go into politics. And I think that a lot of believers need to start from the grassroots. the people who will become your presidents and your senators tomorrow, half of them in Lagos are in the garage, in the parks. That's where they campaign from. And so you wonder why when it's campaign season, you come out wearing a nice tie, putting on this thing. Listen, I'm sorry, but Gbadebo Roots Viva did not stand a chance against Sanwo-Olu.
Of course.
He did not. Do you understand? Baki W stands a greater chance than he does because he is going through the system. Do you understand? And this is something that believers need to wake up to. Like, see, we can't just wake up one day and say this person will be president. There has to be like a lot of people were touting Charlie Kirk for president eventually, right? And the reason why they will say that is even if he's not in a political office, he's so involved in the political space that there is some level of track record that you can say this is what he has been saying, this is what he believes. People don't vote people on leadership quotes and nice sayings. Do you get that? I rest my case.
Sorry, sir. Not to make this the long episode, but just to final question. I genuinely, I don't think that you can be, again, I may be wrong, I'm open to correction, but I don't think you can be a Bible-believing, tongue-speaking, fire-burning Christian and actively be a politician. So I will say why.
I disagree.
From
From
what I have studied in school by the grace of God, from the people that
Is it not the same study?
you know, we have come to discover through history that there's a constant. Politics in itself, as Poku said, real politics. There are decisions that would most likely have to be made that doesn't exactly line up with you being a Bible-believing, tongue-speaking
So
Christian.
this is where I disagree. I agree that there will be many conundrums that you will face as a Christian, but I think that those conundrums will be less with volume. You see, if all my party members are streets people, I will have to play the streets game with them. But if half of my party members are Bible-believing, tongue-speaking Christians, we can insist that the street game will not be played because we are many. If 90% of my party members are Bible-believing, tongues, do you understand what I'm saying? That this mindset has stopped Christians from going into politics. But in the end, the solution to the problem is that Christians go into politics. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Let me tell you, this is the greatest rule of politics. The people or person with power calls the shots. Do you know what that means? It means that if Christians have the volume and have the influence and have the power, and the others realize that we can't do anything without these people, they will play your game, you won't play their game. Do you get it? So volume really matters where politics is concerned.
That answers my question.
Are we good?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, politics is not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
I just want to clarify.
It's not, but like there is a constant.
Because you have a lot of dirty people, so it muddies the game. So just like what Boko was saying, if you have cleaner people, the game will be cleaner.
So basically,
I feel like
solution:
there's
clean
no-
people go into politics.
So you feel like there's no what?
There's no safe way to play politics.
Oh no, there is. Siba,
Even with the clean people, because even, sorry guys, even in the church, there's still
See, wherever you have, let me explain something
Sure,
to
understand.
you. Wherever you have a group of people who all individually want something, politics will be played. So, by definition, what I always define politics as is politics is a game of vested interests. Wherever you have a group of people who individually want things, and sometimes those things align with some others, and politics will be played. Do you understand? So, the conversation we are having here is if we can get a group of Christians who, even though they don't want the same thing, they still have they still have rules by which they play the game.
Rules of engagement.
If we have more
cross this
of
line.
that,
Yeah.
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, that's
Let's take it. Let's take it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation on politics. I'm seeing you on the next one, okay? Okay, cheers, bye. Don't forget to subscribe, evil spirits. All right.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, oh my dear followers, please, you are not evil spirits. You are wicked people. I'm just joking. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'm begging you.